All right, y'all. So Zohran Mamdani went on CNN and spoke to Erin Burnett, and he was asked here about not only Netanyahu, but also Donald Trump. So this should be interesting. Let's get it.
Will you abide by the International Criminal Court? Will you have Prime Minister Netanyahu arrested if he's here?
Look, I've said time and time again that this is a city that believes in international law. This is a city whose values are ones that deserve to actually be reflected in our commitments. And I think that our city should uphold the warrants the International Criminal Court issues, whether it be for Benjamin Netanyahu or Vladimir Putin. And also, I am not Donald Trump. I will follow the laws as they are, as opposed to bend them to my own will. So we will pursue every legal avenue to ensure that that accountability is present. And the reason for that is that the context we are speaking about, this is a man who has orchestrated a genocide that has killed one Palestinian child every hour for close to 2 years. This is someone whose conduct I hear about from New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. And they come to me with a horror at what they have witnessed. And for some New Yorkers, a horror as to what they have lost. There was a Palestinian New Yorker who spoke to me about losing 85 members of her family who were all killed by the Israeli military in Gaza. It's unconscionable. And a mayor's responsibility is to the people of this city, but it's also an opportunity to show your values as the leader of the city.
So the New York Times reported that Trump spoke with Cuomo on the phone, actually last month, and about the mayoral race. Now, Cuomo's denied this conversation took place, but this is the New York Times reporting. And as I pointed out a few moments ago, Trump has been very clear on who he backs, but it actually goes farther than that, right? He has attacked you personally and publicly like this.
He's not a socialist. He's a communist. Okay, this is not a socialist, man. This is a communist. I don't.
By the way, people have been making a good point about that. The reason why he does that now, he's not a socialist, he's a communist. The implication there is, well, socialist wouldn't be all that bad, but communist is really bad. The Overton window is moving. People are now totally sick, totally fed up. Capitalism has fucking imploded right in front of our eyes. People are struggling throughout this entire fucking country. And so now when somebody hears socialism, it's not the knee-jerk reaction of like, ugh. It's more like, right? And so that's why he feels like, if I just call him a socialist, that doesn't pack a punch. That's not an argument in and of itself that'll make people nod in agreement. That'll make people go, he's a socialist? That might be interesting to try, right? And so now it's, he's not a socialist, he's a communist. Because they still think communism has that gut punch when you mention that. Okay, let's keep going.
This is not a socialist, man. This is a communist. I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that. I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor. We should never be in a position where we're talking about a communist.
I would love for somebody to ask Trump to define socialism, define communism, and then sit back and watch the hilarity ensue. He can't define any of them. He just used a scary, bad-sounding word that I don't like and my friends don't like because we're rich capitalists. And so I say the bad, scary word, and then you go, I don't like that. This is what goes on in his mind. Like, I don't know if I've ever actually heard Trump make an argument. He just said, you're bad, you're not good, you're communist, you're a communist, you're poisoning the blood of our country, you're vermin. He never actually makes an argument. He just says things that have an emotional gut punch to them, or so he thinks.
With a communist mayor, it's not even believable, my beautiful New York. I think if a communist takes over New York City, I think that's a gift to the Republican Party.
Last time you were on this program, you were unequivocal in saying you do not like capitalism. But Trump, just in those remarks there, I counted, called you a communist 8 times. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. I've said that time and again, and I think it reflects the fact that whereas that identity would have been enough for Donald Trump in the past, now he doesn't even want to use that because he knows that the message of my politics is one that is connecting with New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. It's a message of dignity in each and every person's life. And what we're seeing in these clips and what we're seeing in what Donald Trump says is he's going through the many stages of grief. First, it's denial that this could ever take place. Now it's acceptance. And still through it all, he is looking to use every tool at his disposal to help Andrew Cuomo become the next mayor of the city.
So the word Democratic...
Oh, that was glorious. They can't win the argument. They're not up to having the argument. If you talk to somebody talk to a leftist, hey, what do you actually want for the country? We'll tell you. I want to have the #1 infrastructure in the world. So I want to do like a New Deal, high-speed rail everywhere, give people jobs, fix this country, clean it up. I want to end the corruption. So I want clean elections. I want to end the wars. I want universal health care. I want a higher minimum wage. I want a 4-day work week. I want to eliminate medical debt. I want Social Security for all. We want things that everybody loves the sound of. Get rid of the fucking medical debt. Get rid of the student loan debt. Free college for people. Free healthcare for people. This is basic shit. Paid vacation time by law. Ask a leftist, hey, what do you believe? And that's what they say. It's hard to smear that when we get into the specifics, when we get into the granular details, when we get into the actual policies, people go, I kind of like that, right? But talk to somebody on the right. Hey, what do you want? Well, what are they fucking working on right now? Russell Vought, the fucking director of Project 2025, This motherfucker is out there cutting every single government agency, including the ones that everybody loves, that everybody supports, that everybody wants to protect. Meals on Wheels, pediatric cancer research. If you ask a right-winger, hey, what do you guys actually like? I mean, the record speaks for itself. They want unitary executive theory, which is basically having an emperor, overlord, god king in Donald Trump. They want to destroy the regulatory state and let big business pollute however they want, violate labor law, bring fucking in children to do the hard labor. They want to destroy the social safety net. Sorry, no more Medicaid, no more Medicare, or anything like that. They want to ban minimum wage increases at the city and local level. They want to ban individual states from doing free school breakfast for kids and free school lunch for kids. They want to ban porn, cut overtime pay. This is who they are. If you actually get into the specifics of what a right-winger is versus what a left-winger is, the left-winger wins 10 out of 10 times. It's a fucking scandal that we have weak Democrats who don't believe in anything that can't make the argument. The argument that we win by default if you actually define terms. That's the scandal. That right-wingers come across as more authentic because they're out there saying, I want bad ththings for you and I'll wear that on my sleeve. Oh, well, he authentically hates me. Maybe I'll go in that direction. Like, this is where we're at right now. So I love it. I love it. Because once you actually get to the specifics of what these people are for, it's very clear. The left wins every single time.
And I put it in the context of the conversation you and I had when you said you had real issues with capitalism. That context is important. Our Isaac DeVere is reporting about your recent call with President Obama. And he reports, Obama reminded the Democratic nominee for New York mayor how many would be watching to see if a Democratic socialist could pull off running the nation's largest city, and how many critics would be waiting to pounce if it went wrong.
Yeah, but here's the thing that Obama doesn't understand. They're going to lie and say it's going wrong no matter what happens. How do you not get this? Obama, you were president for 8 years. You saw how they smeared you no matter what the fuck you did. When you did their policies, they still smeared you. When you wore a fucking tan suit, they smeared you. They're going to smear you no matter what. So why not just do the right thing anyway? Stand on business. Go for what your values actually are. That's the point. And I think Obama misses that.
What do you think about that? And do you expect that he will endorse you and will stand with you before Election Day?
I can't make any predictions as to endorsements. I can say, however, that I've been proud to receive the endorsements I've received thus far from Governor Hochul, from Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins of the State Senate, who will be key in enacting our agenda and working together in Albany. And what I've found is that this vision of democratic socialism, it's one that often comes back to what Martin Luther King said decades ago. A vision of, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism, there must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. Here in New York City, wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 1 in 4 are in poverty. 500,000 kids go to sleep hungry every night. It's untenable to live with this kind of a divide. We have to actually have a politics that puts working people first. And I think to this question of being under the microscope, to be the mayor of New York City is a responsibility that you must fulfill. It's also an opportunity to actually serve New Yorkers who are being pushed out of this city and to show an example of what life could be like.
Do you feel when you have a conversation with Barack Obama or other leaders of the Democratic Party, Chuck Schumer, others, and Hochul's endorsed you, I understand now there's endorsed you, but on that line also business leaders in the city who consider themselves to be big Democratic donors. Do you feel that they are taking you at this point seriously, like you could win, and that they are listening to you? Or do you feel that they are not taking you seriously and that they are dismissing you as a communist?
I would say that they're taking me seriously, and the most accurate measure of that is the time that is being spent. The choice to actually have those meetings, to have those conversations. It's reflective.
Well, because you got them by the balls, bro. You got them by the balls. But what, Curtis Sliwa is going to beat you? Fucking Andrew Cuomo is going to beat you? You got them by the balls. They're forced to now work with you, dog. But no, they don't agree. They want to undermine you because they're from a very different wing of the Democratic Party. They're from the neoliberal wing. They're from the centrist wing. They know, hey, if his project works, then the rest of the Democratic Party across the country is going to be demanding the exact same shit that Zohran Mamdani's offering. They're going to be demanding somebody who says, I'm not going to fucking Israel. I'm going to stay here and represent my people. That's what I'm going to do. They're going to demand Democrats who say, I don't think anybody should be a billionaire, as Zohran said, right? And so they don't want him to be the nominee, but they're stuck with him.
Of a fact that this is a campaign that is ever expanding in its coalition. The reason I sit before you as a Democratic nominee, it's not because of any endorsements. It's because of the fact that people across the city work to make this moment possible. We had 52,000 volunteers in the primary. Today we have more than 70,000. They're knocking on doors every single day with a message of affordability. And I've been proud to have meetings with those who will join our coalition to actually enact that agenda.
There you go. So takes down Trump, takes down Netanyahu, basically explains to the rest of the Democratic Party, the old guard, like, hey, bitch, I'm here. Deal with me. Love it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.